We are covering OSPF cost calculation and path selection for the CCNA exam. OSPF's metric is called cost, and the fundamental rule is that a lower total cost signifies a better path. The path with the lowest cumulative cost to a destination is what gets installed in the routing table. The cost for a single link is calculated using the formula. Cost equals reference bandwidth divided by interface bandwidth. By default, Cisco sets the reference bandwidth to 100 megabits per second. This default value is the source of a major exam trap. Consider a router with two paths to a destination. One path starts with a gigabit Ethernet link, which is 1000 megabits per second, and the other path starts with a fast Ethernet link, which is 100 megabits per second. Using the default reference bandwidth, the cost for the gigabit link is 100 divided by 1000, which equals 0.1. Since OSPF cost must be an integer, this is rounded up to 1. The cost for the fast Ethernet link is 100 divided by 100, which is exactly 1. OSPF now sees both a 1000 megabit link and a 100 megabit link as having the same cost of 1. This is a problem because OSPF might perform equal cost load balancing over two links of vastly different speeds, which is inefficient and not what a network engineer would want. The CCNA exam will test your ability to spot and fix this. The modern solution is to adjust the reference bandwidth to a value higher than the fastest link in your network. This is done in router configuration mode with the command AutoCost reference bandwidth, followed by the value in megabits per second. For a network with 10 gigabit links, you might set it to 10,000. A critical point for the exam is that this reference bandwidth value must be configured identically on all OSPF routers in the domain for path calculation to be consistent and accurate. While you can also change an interface's bandwidth parameter to influence the calculation, the recommended best practice is to use the reference bandwidth command for network-wide tuning. For very specific path engineering, you can manually override the calculated cost on a per-interface basis. This is done using the interface configuration command IP OSPF cost, followed by a value between 1 and 6553. This is useful if you want to make a high bandwidth but perhaps less reliable link, like a satellite connection, less desirable to OSPF. A great way to remember the core concepts is the phrase, reference over interface, layer is optimal. This helps you recall the formula, which is reference bandwidth over interface bandwidth, and the goal, which is to find the path with the lowest or most optimal total cost. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.